Heyo everybody, Haku here with a sort of part 1 prediction video for the season finale of The Walking Dead Season 6, and I just made a video, recorded it right before this, probably going to post it right before this, about why I'm not going to be doing a reaction video for that episode, because it's just not my sort of thing, and I go over all of my reasons there. So yeah, just check that out if you want to, or want to know why I'm not doing one. And the difference between this and the second one I'm going to be doing is, for this predictions video, I didn't write any notes or anything. I'm just going to be talking extemporaneously, I think that's the word for it, just right off the top of my head, about like what I think is going to happen and the different stuff we know so far. I'm just going to be discussing it from what we've seen in previous episodes and what I've seen in the promos. And then for, I think Friday or Saturday, probably Friday, I'm going to be I'm really going to be diving into breaking down all of the promos that we've seen and stuff that we've seen in previous episodes, and going into a bit of detail and taking notes on it. And that prediction video will just be like my detailed notes, what I think is going to probably happen point by point. And before I get into either, I want to say please do not post any spoilers in the comments, because please do not ruin it for anybody that is potentially looking forward to watching. The fun in predicting is just to try to guess, not really to know, because I want it to be a surprise when I actually watch it, you know? But other than that, I don't mind if you post stuff like after the episode airs, but please no spoilers before the episode airs. That seems just fair enough to me. So yeah, getting into it, first thing I'd like to talk about is, I think first, since we have the sneak peek on AMC's YouTube, this week it was about Morgan finding that horse. I think that I want to talk first about Morgan, Carol, and that savior that picked up Carol's rosaries and started following Rick and Morgan. So, like I already said, there was this one savior, I think they said his name was Roman. He picked up the rosaries that Carol dropped and left behind, and he went following Rick and Morgan. And we see that after they ran into that guy and he was looking for his horse, it seems in the promos, and the promos we've been seeing even, that Morgan has that horse. Now, this guy, a lot of people have already brought this up. I probably brought it up in my review. I don't remember if I did or not, but the dude definitely looked like he was from Kingdom, which, moderate comic spoilers, I'm not going to say any events or anything, but the Kingdom is another group of survivors that exists out there, another sort of settlement. And a part of me really I don't even know why, but it really screams that, a part of me is screaming that we're going to see the Kingdom early, or at least members of the Kingdom early. We're going to see them in this finale, I think. And I think that may take Morgan and Carol out of the big death scene, the meeting Negan scene that everybody's waiting for. And again, I'm not going to go into detail about what happens in the comics with it. The only detail I'll go into is my just predictions and guesses for how it's going to go down by what we've seen in the promo. And I think this may take them out of the running for that, because I think that both of them, maybe not both of them, I think that guy that was following them with the rosaries, Roman or whatever, I think he's going to find Carol personally. And whether he bled out from the wound and became a walker, or whether he's still alive, I think he's going to come after Carol, trying to kill her. But Carol isn't going to be able to kill him. She's just not going to be able to bring herself to do it. She's going to see the rosaries in his hand, or something's going to set her off where she just cannot kill him. And would that be a crazy way for Carol to die? Maybe. But I don't think that she's going to die that way. I think more likely than Carol dying would be Morgan dying by just saving her. The walker or that guy's going after her, and Morgan just takes the bite for her, or takes the bullet for her, or whatever. and Morgan dies for Carol, and that sets her into being able to kill the guy. And it's sort of, maybe Morgan will talk to her and say, you know, there's always another way. You don't have to kill people, but sometimes you don't always have to kill people, but sometimes you do have to kill people. Like, sometimes there's just no other way. And I think that he's going to give some sort of good mediating advice to her like that. Now, that could happen, or they could both survive, or even, maybe even, like, Carol gets killed by the dude, and in the moment, Morgan just kills him. And Morgan says, like, this whole time Morgan's been all life is precious and all that, and seeing the guy kill Carol just sets him off, and he forgets about the all life is precious stuff and kills the guy. That'd be an interesting way to go with it as well. And I think that, I'm pretty sure I saw that Jesus is supposed to be in the, he's supposed to be in the Also Starrings, I think. So if he is, then I would say Jesus wouldn't meet up with Rick's group. I don't think he really has a big reason to at this point. But I think that Jesus could meet up with, maybe say Jesus meets up with that guy in the armor that was on the horse and meets up with Morgan and or Carol. And then they go to the kingdom, and that's just sort of left as an open-ended cliffhanger for next season. And we forget about that, and that'll be like scattered throughout the episode, but the rest will be about our group that's going out in that RV and the group that's been captured. Now, we know that Daryl's been injured. I don't think it's life-threatening at all, but I do think it's enough that he'll maybe be a bit drowsy and out of it. He won't be able to fight or anything. And I think that's good because Daryl, like, he wouldn't be able to just sit and watch somebody be killed. He wouldn't even be able to take being captured, even if it was a dumb idea and it meant that he would get killed. He would willingly, like, if it meant him getting killed instead of somebody else, he would just go off and do something crazy. And I think that injuring him is the good call to make it so that it makes it so that there's a reason why Daryl is still, why he's captured, why he isn't trying to interrupt whatever. Because him interrupting it would be in his character, but if he's injured, he can't do that. So I think he's going to be injured, but not like deathly injured. Also, we see one scene in the promo where it looks like Aaron's in the back, Carl is beside whatever they're carrying, and Rick and Abraham are carrying something. Now that leaves Eugene. It could be Sasha, because we've seen that Sasha and Eugene are likely with them. Pretty sure they're with them 100%, somewhere in there. But I think it could be Daryl. They could rescue Daryl. And maybe that's when they run into Negan and his men, and Negan and his men bring out Rosita, Michonne, and Glenn. That'd be an interesting way to do it. And a lot of people I've seen have been saying that, like, they're going out to look for that group that's been captured. And at this point, I do think that's more likely than what my first guess was. But originally, my first guess was, I thought they were going out to get a doctor for Maggie. Now, I thought they were going to the hilltop to get Harlan Carson, who's the obstetrician, I think they said he was. And that's really good luck that she ran into one of those in the situation she's in the apocalypse. But I think they were going to get him and bring him back rather than bringing Maggie to the hilltop. But there's always the slight chance that, like, Maggie and Enid are with them and are just waiting in the RV or something. And that's why we hadn't seen them, is they're just waiting in the RV. Now, if that were the case, then maybe they were like, okay, we need to go to the hilltop and get Jesus' help maybe, or get Harlan Carson, get you to the doctor. But on the way, they run into the Saviors, and they're either forced to go retreat or run away, or maybe they even say, look, we're going to the hilltop, but on the way we're going to stop off and see if we can find where our captured or missing group is. Now, I'm very happy to see that Stephen Ogg, who is Trevor from GTA 5, and you could probably recognize him by the voice and stuff, he's part of that group of saviors that are stopping Rick and Co. at the road. And I really like that he's in this, and I hope he gets to stick around a bit in the show. I really hope they don't just kill him off really quickly or anything. I'd love to see him play a named character and stick around in the Saviors and stuff. It'd just be really cool to see him. Just, they don't even have to write him a new character. Just make him Trevor Phillips in The Walking Dead. It would be great. I just think that even beyond being able to do Trevor, he is a good actor, and I think it's very interesting to see him in this, because I did go and look up where everybody said that he was in Better Call Saul, and I did watch that, and I thought he was good. I really like the actor. I've seen a ton of interviews with him. I really like him, and I hope he sticks around in The Walking Dead. I hope he's not just a one-time thing. But, yeah, beyond that, it looks like they're going to run into the woods. Maybe they bust their RV through that blockade somehow. The RV does look a little bit dinged up, but we don't know if that's really from them doing that. But it's always a possibility that they could. Then they get the RV. They see this blockade of walkers chained up, because we see that again in the promo multiple times, I feel. And then there's a shootout near that blockade of walkers. And in that shootout, I think they may run away and have to give up the RV. Now, maybe once they give up the RV, they're like, crap, we need to get back to it because we left Maggie and Enid there, maybe. And something like that happens, and our group goes, and maybe they find Daryl, maybe not. But if they find Daryl, they grab him, and they're carrying him, trying to get back. And then, bam, Negan's group stops them. We see the bright, shining floodlights or whatever. And then they stop them, they line them up, and they're planning to kill somebody. Now, beyond even that, they then bring out Glenn, Michonne, they bring out Rosita, they bring out Maggie and Enid, who were in the RV maybe. And maybe that's where they catch him. Maybe that's why they're running. They're not trying to run away from something. They're trying to run towards the RV. They're trying to get back to where they were. That's a potential thing. And I do think maybe Ronnie Hayes said something about that in his prediction. I'd say go check out his predictions. They're probably a way better look into things than mine. Because I am kind of newer, and at least for this video, I'm just kind of going off the top of my head, just spitballing different ideas that I just thought of while looking at the promos and different things. I think that's about it. And even Morgan walking on that horse, I did like that. I think that maybe off screen he's not alone, and we do have, like, say, Jesus or somebody walking with him. And the way that we're introduced to the kingdom in the comics, small spoilers, is I don't really think this could be the same in the show at all, because the show doesn't do events like this the same usually. Is Rick and Jesus, I think they drove a van in there. Those two went together. So maybe instead of Rick and Jesus, it's going to be Morgan and Jesus. And he's going to be riding the horse in, and maybe Jesus is on a hilltop horse beside him or something. Or maybe he has some, or maybe he found the guy's body and somebody killed, like Carol killed the guy because she thought he was a savior or something, and he was really a guy from the kingdom, and maybe Morgan finds a map on his body. Also, I just remembered the "You Are Alive" sign that Morgan finds as well in the original Next Time On promo. And that could even be directions to the kingdom. Like, maybe it's like a Terminus style map. That doesn't make it sound very inviting. But maybe it's something like that. I'm honestly not sure what the sign is, but I think that sign has to have some sort of significance. There are always things that don't have that kind of significance in The Walking Dead, but I think that it always potentially could. And I think that's all the events I can go over. We're probably going to have a lot more than that even, because this is an hour and a half. I'm going to look more detailed into things and make a really detailed predictions video for Friday, I believe. So definitely look forward to that. There are two more things I want to go over before I cut this one out, though. I first want to say I really like how Rick is sort of letting Gabriel take over for, like, the defense of Alexandria while him and his group are gone. I think that's really awesome. I love the trust that's being built, and I absolutely love what the show has done with Father Gabriel. Like, what's his name? Seth Gilliam? Oh man, is that his name? I think that's his name. He's such a great actor, the guy that plays Gabriel. And man, the character, I really like him. I think he's a really cool character. I love how far he's come. And Spencer, I think it was really interesting the way Spencer talked about negotiating with the Saviors. That was really funny and maybe a little bit nod to something that comes far later on in the comics, but I won't get into that. The other thing I wanted to go over is, I think in either one of my videos, I'm going to say like who I think may be at that lineup where one will be dying. Maybe even two will be dying. But I'm not going to make any predictions as to who I think is going to get that death, because I want to be surprised by it when it happens. And at this point, I think that like my original first guess was Morgan, but now I don't even think Morgan's going to be there. So I think it's anybody's game, and I don't think I'm going to make predictions at that because I want to just wait and see it live, be excited because it's a surprise. So this was it for my extemporaneous off-the-head predictions. I'll make a detailed notes-taking prediction for later in the week. I just think that this was a really good thing to do, just talk with you guys about what my predictions are. So like if you did like it, comment down there what you thought of my predictions or maybe your own predictions. Once again, don't post any spoilers, please, in the comments until after the episode airs. Once the episode is aired, then maybe just put a spoiler tag, then hit enter a few times and then type something. But once the episode is aired, I don't really mind. Just before it's aired, definitely no spoilers, please. Subscribe if you want more The Walking Dead, Tower of God, One Piece, and much more. I do at least 3 videos on each every week. And I will be covering Fear the Walking Dead and the occasional Walking Dead update during the break. I also do videos on the comics. Now, beyond that, follow on Twitter if you want updates, because I do post or tweet out whenever I post a new video or when anything needs to be pushed back. So that's definitely something else for you if you want to follow me there. So I think that's it. Thank you all so a million times over so very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.